Welcome to another Executive Learning Series presentation by Cost Down Consulting. My name is Joe White, and the subject of this presentation is Top 5 Activities to Improve Driver Productivity. As the driver shortage continues to worsen, driver productivity becomes more and more important to fleet operating companies. To illustrate how driver productivity can at least partially offset driver shortages, consider the displayed table. It shows that a 5% increase in the productivity of a fleet of 100 drivers increases what is called effective driver count by 5 drivers. 100 drivers, each averaging a 5% increase in productivity, would now effectively do the work of 105 drivers. In this presentation, I will discuss the top 5 activities to improve driver productivity and thereby increase effective driver count. We will review them in countdown order, beginning with the 5th most important activity and ending with the number 1 most important activity a trucking company should implement to improve driver productivity performance. It may come as a surprise that a productivity pay-for-performance plan for truck drivers ranks as only number 5 in our activities list, as there has been a lot of press lately about trucking companies adopting such plans. Our ranking, however, should not detract from the significant role these plans play in improving driver performance. Providing financial incentives as part of your driver productivity improvement strategy is critically important, and without such a plan, your productivity improvement efforts will most likely fail. Plan attributes are important. To begin with, the plan must be pegged to common industry measurements such as miles, revenue, or load counts. Performance goals should be published and current progress to those goals frequently reported to allow drivers to monitor individual performance. Also, the plan must provide significant financial opportunity to motivate higher performance. Target a bonus opportunity of at least 3% of average annual wages. A productivity pay-for-performance plan must be easy to understand. Avoid complicated formulas. If a driver doesn't understand your plan, he or she will be less likely to participate. The plan should include offset equivalents for beyond driver control events, such as shipper delays. For example, a driver losing 4 hours due to delays at a shipper should be awarded a mileage equivalent for his lost time so he won't miss his goal for reasons beyond his control. If drivers are not compensated for beyond their control events, they will lose interest in the plan. Finally, the plan should pay out frequently, at least every quarter. The more often a driver is rewarded, the more often he is reminded of the paycheck opportunity increased productivity offers. Also, issue separate checks to distinguish the productivity reward from his normal paycheck. Number 4 on our list of activities is to train drivers on productivity. Begin training with the productivity pay-for-performance plan itself, how it works, and what it can mean for them financially. Drive the paycheck impact home by making suggestive remarks, such as, "Want a new motorcycle? Want to own that boat you've always dreamed of?" All you have to do is hit your productivity targets, and the extra amount in your paycheck could cover those payments. Help drivers to visualize the reward. During training, Explain the negative paycheck impact of time off. Non-vacation days off are very costly to drivers in terms of lost wages and could potentially cost them their productivity bonus for the period. Explain how missed days not only force a loss of wages, but also a loss of miles towards their productivity goals. Finally, review the activities they need to manage daily to increase productivity. Orientation is an excellent opportunity to provide productivity training, as the resultant higher wages from making productivity goals may help reduce new hire turnover. Number 3 on our list is to manage home time. Getting drivers home often has a devastating impact on productivity, especially when deadheads, trailer swaps, and yard drops are required. Reducing home time impact on productivity begins by having a defined home time policy that stipulates when and how often drivers will get home. There is always a delicate and seemingly impossible balance between meeting service requirements and providing sufficient home time to retain drivers. A formal policy can help with that balance. Make sure your company's hiring strategy supports home time by focusing hiring efforts in high volume delivery areas so that drivers can be loaded home more frequently. At the beginning of the week, review home time commitments. Those commitments that are above and beyond normal home stays, such as pre-approved time off for anniversaries, graduations, and other personal events of importance. Work those commitments into your dispatch plan first to route those drivers home loaded where possible. Each driver's get home load should be searched for every day. The thought process goes like this. The driver will be at point A on Tuesday. He'll pick up and deliver to point B Wednesday afternoon. So what load Thursday morning will get him home for the weekend? Always plan home time load sequencing as far ahead as possible. Finally, develop a reward system for drivers willing to stay out longer. It may be monetary, or it may be additional home days without pay he or she can tack on to their next stay. Your rewards program should be part of your published home time policy. Too often, rewards for staying out vary by the driver manager issuing the reward, resulting in perceptions of favoritism. Make sure your reward system is published and administered fairly. The number 2 activity to improve driver productivity is to train and incentivize your operations team. Depending on your company's size and organizational structure, your operations team may be comprised of driver managers that wear many hats, or 3 distinct employee groups consisting of driver managers, planners, and customer service reps. The importance of training and incentivizing your operations team is best illustrated by reviewing the influences they have over driver productivity. Routing, load assignments, securing backhaul loads, total miles, addressing detention issues, home time requests, equipment assignments, addressing breakdowns, coaching driver performance are just some of the examples of the influence your operations team has on driver productivity. Providing your operations team with the right tools and resources is critical to their ability to improve driver performance. Begin by baselining their performance and that of their drivers, and then develop performance goals that are higher than the baselines. Obviously, The mileage, revenue, or load productivity goals of the drivers and their operations teams should be the same. Once goals are established, collect and define the best practices your operations team should use to improve driver productivity. Best practices can be found both from within your organization by using techniques your most successful operations team members employ, and outside your organization by looking at what other trucking companies in the industry are doing. Once best practices are established, train your operations team on those activities. Review the importance of following each best practice and how it impacts driver productivity. Include in your training techniques for coaching improved driver performance. Soft skills are very important to both motivate and retain truck drivers. Finally, provide your operations team financial incentives to reward them for working harder and making their driver productivity goals. If you have a pay-for-performance program for your drivers, but not for those employees that manage your drivers, your performance improvement efforts will suffer. Now, for the number one activity you should implement to improve driver productivity, manage your freight network. The hundreds, sometimes thousands of pickup and delivery points you service often provide the biggest hurdle to driver productivity. Customer delays, empty lanes, small delivery windows, and out-of-network locations all present unique and costly obstacles. Managing a freight network is a huge task, so we will discuss the approach in 3 separate stages. Stage 1 is to define your problems. Identify freight network problems by documenting, customer by customer, each productivity obstacle. Be very specific and detailed when logging your problems. Common industry problems include empty lanes, delays, small delivery windows, weekend issues, and even home time detrimental locations that are off your main network and hiring grids yet demand frequent weekend servicing, forcing lost home time or severe deadheading. Stage 2 is to calculate the cost by customer of the log items collected from Stage 1. Take your time and use calculations you can justify with your customers. Once completed, review the results. I guarantee you will be amazed, no, shocked at the cost of your specific freight network obstacles. Stage 3 is to combine your problem log and cost to develop business cases you can present to customers to negotiate needed changes. Include in each business case not just your cost, but the lost productivity in terms of effective driver counts. Be sure to drill down to the specific locations that generate most of the problems. Shippers do know that drivers are hard to come by and understand that capacity is tightening. Leverage the growing awareness of a driver shortage crisis to negotiate needed changes. Before going to each customer, look up their contract renewal date. The closer you are to a renewal, the more leverage you will have during times of tight capacity. This presentation suggests that the top 5 activities to improve driver productivity in countdown order are implementing a productivity pay-for-performance plan, training drivers on productivity, managing home time, training and incentivizing your operations team, and managing your freight network. But is this the productivity prescription for all trucking companies? The answer is no. A trucking company's fleet type and average length of haul will determine their unique prescription for improving driver productivity. For example, a carrier with all local freight would not have managed home time as one of their top 5 activities. However, regardless of your fleet type or length of haul, odds are that managing your freight network and training and incentivizing your operations team will still be your company's top 2 opportunities to improve driver productivity. No other activities have the same potential to improve truck driver productivity, increase effective driver counts, and reduce operating costs. There are obviously a lot of other productivity obstacles we haven't discussed, some of which are listed here. Some of these obstacles you can influence significantly, some of these you can influence not at all. The key to improving driver productivity in your organization is to identify your unique productivity prescription and associated top 5 activities, and then implement and manage them aggressively. Thank you for watching our presentation. I hope you found it of value. In addition to driver productivity services, Cost Down Consulting provides executives in the trucking industry with performance management, driver retention, and operations audit services. If you have questions about this presentation or would simply like to discuss your operational concerns, please feel free to give us a call.